start of the Asia Cup very well.
Yeah.
Like a Harbhajan Singh, like a
Yeah.
Shoaib Akhtar. But I can't remember the last few Asia Cups. If you ask me the World Cups, I can tell you a couple of matches.
India-Pakistan doesn't even need any relevance. It doesn't even need a trophy. The two teams just play. It could be in gully cricket as well, and there'll be massive interest. So I think that is what has kept Asia Cup alive. And
But when Mr. Jayashaw was the president of the Asian Cricket Council, there was revamped effort in. They announced a list of Asia Cup events from the under-19 level to Women's Asia Cup and all that. But Saurabh had an important observation that he made. When you talk about Asia Cup being the dress rehearsal for the World Cup, the last few tournaments suggest something. Talking as journalists, if you both were, fans of the sport, in this climate, would you buy a ticket and go watch an India-Pakistan match?
I will personally not be willing to put my money and go and buy a ticket.
I should not
Yeah.
be allowed to point fingers at you and call you anti-national. Right? We cannot. If everyone's going to be looking at situation and deciding, then I could say that no, for me, country comes first. I won't watch anything to do with Pakistan. I will not buy anything to do with Pakistan. I will not make friends with anyone from Pakistan or whatever. I won't consume Pakistani content, blah, blah, blah. But cricket is my love, and India-Pakistan is the number one game, so I'll watch it.
Welcome to another episode of Sledging Room. This is an Asia Cup special that we are starting today. And we have a special guest with us. We have our usual suspect, Saurabh Kumar, and along with him is Nikhil Naz. Welcome, Nikhil Naz. You've been doing Balla Bol.
Yeah.
I hope you can, add that glitter to Sledging Room as well.
I just hope that you guys are kind to me, nice to me, don't sledge me.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Great.
we have, we can have healthy banter and some insights, but a lot of fun. That's what I look forward to.
Great. Since this is an Asia Cup special,
Yeah.
with a little bit of banter, you've been probably doing Asia Cup for the last, say, 20 years, if I'm not
More
wrong.
than 20 years.
Yeah, great. So, what are your earliest memories of an Asia Cup tournament?
Whoa, that's a good one. The memory is that one shared trophy. I remember, that is there. Then that Ravichandran Ashwin,
Yes.
getting hit for those unfortunate sixes by Shahid Afridi. Yeah, not a great memory though. That's there. I think that other game. Correct me if I'm wrong, because Harbhajan Singh hitting Shoaib Akhtar for those sixes. Again, it just goes around India-Pakistan game. So I guess, those a lot of games getting washed out in Sri Lanka every time it happened there. That's another memory that I have. In recent memories, I have India not making the final of the last Asia Cup. One of the major things that happened, and it was a landmark, Virat getting to his 70th 100. Remember how long that wait was, and it kept going on, and he broke that duck in a Asia Cup game. Different formats, of course, but Sri Lanka getting dismissed for 53 or
54,
something like that. Mohammad Siraj on fire again, and another Asia Cup memory. Yeah, so these are some memories that I have from the Asia Cup.
When you spoke about this, I think you were very, you were able to remember the incidents from the start of the Asia Cup very well.
Yeah.
Like a Harbhajan Singh, like a Shoaib Akhtar. But I can't remember the last few Asia Cups. If you ask me the World Cups, I can tell you a couple of matches. But the Asia Cups are very difficult to remember, is what I think. That brings me to a question to both of you. Has the relevance of the tournament gone down?
See, overall, I don't think Asia Cup means much. And I'll tell you why, because even the people who organize the Asia Cup, they haven't paid too much heed to it. Because I remember it used to keep getting postponed multiple times. India were the host previously as well, as far as I remember. And then 1 year it didn't even happen. Nobody really cared. Then the format also keeps changing sometime. So what you're telling everyone, that it is a sort of a dress rehearsal to a big ICC tournament that may be following, whether it's a 50-over Champions Trophy or if it's a T20 World Cup, whatever the year is and whatever the ICC trophy is. So Asia Cup can be a dress rehearsal to that. So I think you made it like that. But that's not to say that Asia Cups haven't been exciting, and that is primarily down to the India-Pakistan rivalry. I think that has kept Asia Cup alive, and India-Pakistan doesn't even need any relevance. It doesn't even need a trophy. The two teams just play. It could be in gully cricket as well, and there'll be massive interest. So I think that is what has kept Asia Cup alive. And also, if I take you back in history, the Asia Cup came about because you wanted to have this camaraderie between Asian countries. And Jagmohan Dalmia was the one who really got this going, simply because you wanted a united Asian front against the Western bloc in that sense. So you said we need to fight their might, and eventually on the table when you sat in the ICC and the votes came into power. So Jagmohan Dalmia, like this father figure, took along Bangladesh and Sri Lanka and Pakistan as well. I mean, we're in an environment where I don't think India-Pakistan bonhomie can be discussed that much. But if I take you back in history, it's actually a partnership between India-Pakistan.
87 World Cup came
Correct,
about, right?
which absolutely changed the whole landscape of international cricket, where the two countries said, fine, we'll get together. And that World Cup happened, and first ever World Cup outside England. Rest, as they say, is history. So I guess that was an extension of that done by Jagmohan Dalmia. Now it isn't the case where now you're in a scenario where till very recently, because we didn't know whether this Asia Cup will go on, and there was this discussion that who's with India. So okay, Sri Lanka will be with India, Nepal will be with India, but Bangladesh is siding with Pakistan. So the only fissures in the Asian bloc as such. So then that's why probably I'm just looking at various elements why it's not relevant. But having said that, once India Pakistan are playing, and they do it by design, you might have 3 India Pakistan games,
which has never happened, by the way. Which has never happened. No India Pakistan final has happened in the Asia Cup till now.
Oh yes.
I was there last Asia Cup where India Sri Lanka played the final 50 over. The Asia Cup before that, again at the same venue, India didn't even make the final. So I think that was a shocker.
But when Mr. Jay was the president of the Asian Cricket Council, there was a I think revamped effort in they announced a list of Asia Cup events from the under 19 level to Women's Asia Cup and all that. But Saurabh had an important observation that he made. When you talk about Asia Cup being the dress rehearsal for the World Cup, the last few tournaments suggest something.
I mean, if you look at the Asia Cup T20 version, last time the 2 teams that played in the final of the Asia Cup T20, one of them reached the final of the T20 World Cup also in Australia, Pakistan.
Yes.
Then the next time when the ODI Asia Cup happened, India won the Asia Cup, and then they played the final of the ODI World Cup also. And apart from that, I personally think that Asia Cup is just another occasion where you can have another India-Pakistan game. Because now when we don't play those bilateral games, we are only limited to these Asia Cups and the IC tournaments. So it is one more occasion where you can play Pakistan and you can get that broadcast revenue and all. Because I was looking at a tweet, and it said that I don't know why are we having this Asia Cup, because apart from India and Pakistan, I don't think there is another team that is going to give us that much a challenge. Because in the past 20-30 years, Sri Lanka used to be a good team when the likes of Javardhane and Sankara were there. But now even they don't challenge that much. So now it's India, Pakistan, or nothing in the Asia Cup.
Yeah, it's an unfair combo.
Both of you, that's where I was coming. Both of you are going to get some trolls from Bangladesh and Sri Lanka fans. The Nagin rivalry.
Oh yes.
Some claim to be is bigger than India, Pakistan.
No, it can't be. Nothing. I mean, now you even have
Afghanistan, Pakistan.
Is also a rivalry, but nothing matches. Now you've started even Australia and England accept that nothing matches in England. I mean, because Ashes was, kept at this pedestal where you said that's the most important rivalry. But now if you hear former players from both England and Australia, and they say, fine, historically, and all the context attached to when it started, yes, Ashes, we can, talk about it and get romantic about it, but in terms of sheer numbers and the excitement and the basis of how an India-Pakistan rivalry happens, I don't think any rivalry there matches that. I in fact compare it to Rangers Celtics in football or a Real Madrid Barcelona in football, one of the greatest sporting rivalries that you can think of. I don't think nothing comes close to that. But the reason I say it was an unfair comparison, because I think we're being very unfair to 2 teams here. When anyone who says that it's only India, Pakistan, for example, Sri Lanka, I think they've been more consistent compared to, and I'm not talking about the old Sri Lanka for Jayasurya and Aravinda and Ranatunga. No. The recent Sri Lanka has been more consistent than India and Pakistan to have reached the final. They actually won the Asia Cup and
reached the final in 2020.
Reached the final last time around. So they are a strong side. And I must say that I did see Sri Lankan cricket go through a bit of a dip a few years ago.
But yeah,
But now I think they've had a resurgence.
Sanath.
With Sanath Jayasuriya coming back, they've had a resurgence. And I think, in a T20 format, in fact, I'll say in white ball cricket, somehow Sri Lanka finds a way to be competitive. And so for Afghanistan.
Oh, yes.
I mean, they are the semi-finalists of the last T20 World Cup where Sri Lanka didn't make it, where Pakistan did not make it that far. But Afghanistan have. So
as we speak, they have beaten Pakistan in the tri-series in UAE.
Afghanistan,
they can.
But that's 1-1.
Yeah, they can go on and win that tournament and get into the Asia Cup with more momentum as well, right? So you never know.
Yeah, exactly. So
I would say, if you see the groups, if you look at the groups, India, Pakistan in one group, and the other group has Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Afghanistan. So you might call it that group. You might call that group as a group of death. Whereas here you see Oman and Hong Kong. So you never know.
Well, that's where the questions over Asia Cup, start. That you've designed it that way.
Yeah.
You've made sure that you're saying 3 times it may not happen.
They should probably have a draw ceremony for this.
Yeah.
Just
Then
for
you
the sake
can't-
of putting India,
how is it
Pakistan.
that how is
You
it
have
that
to
India
explain
Pakistan
how you
is the
get
same?
there.
Not only they put India Pakistan in the same group, they also ensure that the other teams are
of
such
course.
that
Yeah.
they will both
They won't
qualify
lose
for
to.
Super
They won't
4.
beat Pakistan.
Yeah, that they
ensure
qualify.
that they come.
Though you never know
But
with Pakistan.
in T20 World Cup USA, they
Correct.
pulled
That's
off a
right.
surprise.
Yeah.
So you never know, but it would be fun if you have a draw ceremony and say how you put India and Pakistan together.
But it'll be
Explain
fun for whom? Fans would want to see India Pakistan. The organizers want to see India Pakistan. I mean, truth be told, even you and I would want to see India Pakistan. And this is not. This is me talking as a pure professional. Where if I'm writing about a match or if I'm discussing the match, that there will be 10 times the eyeballs to the article that you write or to the video piece that I do when it's in India, Pakistan. So eventually, as Saurabh also mentioned, that if you're going to have a tournament, you need that context. So if you have an open draw, then you steal us of the opportunity of seeing an India, Pakistan. But having said that, I must tell you, we were doing a chat yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that India, Pakistan is the number one game and nothing ever comes close to it. We had a few viewers who joined us from UAE, and a lot of them, because it's a live conversation that we have with a lot of on Sports Today with a lot of viewers. So many of them from UAE did write into us during our live chat that tickets are still easily available, and that's unheard of. And I've covered cricket in the UAE. India-Pakistan games are sold out weeks in advance. So in fact, I also happened to get a press release from the ticketing agency saying that, here's the package that's available. Why don't you buy? Forget packages, because sometimes packages don't get sold. They're expensive because they bundle a lot of matches together and the hospitality. They're expensive.
Individual
so
match
they go.
tickets,
But individual match tickets, regular tickets, which is
Why
for
is
India,
that?
Pakistan.
Did they explain?
No, not explain. So the only thing that I can think of that there are a lot of people for the very first time who may not be keen to be watching India Pakistan, and there could be multiple reasons for that. I did think about it. Who could that come from? I don't think it would come from the Pakistani audience. There will always be Pakistan fans, but you must remember, even in Dubai, and my last few visits to Dubai, Champions Trophy, Asia Cup before that it's still always about 70-30 in favor of Indian fans. Indian fans always outnumber Pakistan fans, and it even happens in the Middle East, right? Where you think that it'd be
dominated by
50-50.
traveling fans or fans who
A lot of them who stay there, but a lot of them who travel as well, both from India and Pakistan, as well as from the UK and US. People do travel. But overall, if I was to look at the number, it's always about 70-30. Even now. And this is a sea change from the time I remember watching cricket in Sharjah in the 90s, where you would have 50-50 on most occasions. There'd be more Pakistani fans. So now, why is still the tickets not being sold? Because now, which are the parties that may not be buying ticket? Either Indian fans or Pakistani fans. Now, Pakistan fans, whatever I've gauged from their interaction or the content that I've consumed, is that they are more than happy to watch this. So the 30% of the Pakistan fans that usually turn up would have bought the tickets. Then that leaves us with the 70%. And I'm guessing that 70% could be split between 50-50, where 50% of Indian fans would still be okay in watching a game. Maybe there are 50% there who don't want to be watching the game. One, for what happened very
Yeah.
recently in the aftermath of Operation Sindoor, and others could be who may be keen to be watching but don't want to be seen to be watching that game. So those could be the few
Sit
reasons that
in the
I can think.
confines, comfort of your house, and then support
Yeah.
India. Yeah.
So the proof of the pudding would be on
And the
television
television
numbers.
viewership. Yeah, I was noticing one thing, Nikhil and Saurabh, like from say the 2012, 2008, we have had cross-border tensions. We have not, as in like intensified. We have not had bilateral series. But as we call for boycotts, as we call for pulling out from certain tournaments, the numbers have only gone up. Right. That's probably on the outside. India Pakistan people probably don't want to watch the match, or they don't want the team to play the match. But when you look at the numbers, viewership numbers, like you said, it's been only on the ups. It has been seeing an uptick. So I just want to ask you a question, a personal question, as in like you can choose not to answer this. If you both were okay, not talking as journalists, if you both were fans of the sport, in this climate, would you buy a ticket and go watch an India-Pakistan match?
Good question. I'll answer for I'll hear Saurabh what he has to say. What are you going to do?
See, when this India-Pakistan game was announced,
Yeah.
I remember talking to Akshay and I
September
told him,
14, yeah.
I told him, I covered the story and then I told him, why are they playing? Because whatever happens, I am a sports fan and I love my Indian cricket team, but I'm also an Indian citizen. And I've seen what has happened, how our own countrymen have suffered because of the cross-border terrorism and all those events that has happened in the aftermath of Operation Sindoor, before that. So I will personally not be willing to put my money and go and buy a ticket and go and watch an India-Pakistan game. I actually don't want this game to be happening, to be very frank with you. It's my personal view, but I don't want to watch this game, or I don't want this game to be happening. But as a professional journalist, I will do my duty. I will cover the game when and as my team asks me to.
Yeah. He has no option as a professional
But
to be doing that.
I'll come to that
Yeah.
later. Yes.
What are you gonna do?
Me, as in like, I don't know. As in, I would
If
probably
you were a fan,
see. It might sound controversial, but I don't want, as in, I don't want them to be mixed. But maybe after what has happened in the recent times, like blatant, it boiled down into something that is very ghastly. We have seen loss of lives from the very own. I don't think you should probably look at the financial benefits right now. Probably play another T20 series or ODI series against Australia when Virat and Rohit are going to be back. They will get you the money. Of course, not as an India-Pakistan, but if it had been before Operation Sindoor, I would have said probably okay. As in like we were playing in multinational tournaments and all that. But once this escalation, as in it doesn't sound right for me as well.
so would I buy a ticket? The answer, one word answer to that is no, simply because I would not buy a ticket for any game.
No,
because honestly, because I don't enjoy in live experience of watching any cricket match. I rather watch a cricket match in the comfort of my house where I have air condition. I can order the food that I want, and I don't have to be parking my car 2 kilometers away and then walking for which happens in Dubai as well, might I add. And in the heat of Dubai, you have to walk. We have to, as journalists as well. It's parked like kilometer in advance in the heat. You walk to reach there. So, given a choice, I'm a fan there. No, but jokes apart, it's a sort of in-depth thing. And
you wrote a piece for us as well, right?
Correct. It has so many layers that if I start now explaining it, it'll probably take an hour for me to tell you why.
But on the one hand, we are saying like that one point that you made in the piece that I really caught my attention was you said India wants to, as in India, are looking to host some major events like the Commonwealth Games and the Olympic Games eventually. So the government has said that we'll make the visa process and all that. Even they were even ready to host Pakistan in the Hockey Asia Cup, which is happening in Rajgir, even in the Junior Asia Cup, which is gonna happen. So you wrote that why at the cost of what are we planning to host all this, right? Can you explain that bit?
Yeah, so I'll tell you what. Okay, I'll break it down as briefly as I can. If you were to ask me overall that should India-Pakistan be playing cricket or not, my point is that, cricket can't be looked at in isolation. What would happen? Let's remove Operation Sindoor. Let's remove what happened in
Pahalgam,
Pahalgam, and that has continued to happen. There is cross-border terrorism, and you need to tackle with that. But what used to happen, and as I said, for more than 2 decades, there have been many points in my career where this question has come, and then we've tried to answer it. And over the years, I've learned a couple of things. One, that cricket is taken as hostage. So all the focus goes on cricket, and first time you have to attack something, you say, why are India Pakistan playing on cricket? And you kept doing that while every other sport is happening. There's tennis, this and that. So I thought that was double standard. Why do you want to hold cricket as a hostage? So first you need to have a fixed policy for Pakistan. Now you and I can't decide that policy. You and I are experts in sports, right? We follow that. Now, for example, I went to Pakistan to cover during the Champions Trophy, and I can't tell you how much hate I got. Why did I get that hate? Because it's how could you go to Pakistan? Why did you go to a country like that?
Hate not from there.
No, not from there.
Yeah.
I mean, there we were welcome. People might find that hard to believe, but that was a reality. And I'm not going to lie. I'll tell you exactly what I experienced, right? But here I got a lot of hate. Okay, fine. So what am I to understand that people in India, and this is, by the way, before Operation Sindoor, before Pahalgam has happened, right? So I got a feeling that a lot of people here in India did not like me traveling there, even though I went there to do my job. I didn't go for a holiday, or I did not even go as a representative of this government to shake hands with Pakistan and get friendship going. I don't have that mandate or the authority to do that. Right? We just went as traveling journalists. Anyway, that's what we are told. So then I understand anything to do with Pakistan is a no-go, right? This is what people want. Then cut to all of this happens, Operation Sindoor happens, and Pahalgam happens. And then everything to do with Pakistan is banned in the country, where their social media handles are banned. You stop the water, then you say that Diljit Dosanjh is trolled for being an anti. So now what am I to understand? What are you to understand? We are not geopolitical experts. We are to understand that nothing to do with Pakistan happened. But then you go ahead and say, now for the sake of now coming back to Olympics, or we need to be looked at, and because this was mentioned in the stand that the government took, quote unquote, that we need to be looked at as a viable venue. This is what was told. My point is exactly that how is it then, if everything is put in national interest, and that is number one, then why do you need to look as a viable venue? Can you not function as a country if you don't host the Commonwealth Games or the Olympic Games? Anyway, by the way, that's another debate. The loss-making exercises. Commonwealth Game, nobody wants it. This Commonwealth Game,
10 events.
You had to cut short because even people who had won the bid didn't want to host it.
I think
it's lost its relevance.
one of the Australian cities pulled out and then went to Glasgow.
Correct.
Yeah.
So nobody wants to host it. That's first. Secondly, you know what happened last time you hosted a Commonwealth game. It was a fiasco. The games was organized very well, but you know the aftermath. Why would you want to do it? Then you get to Olympics, and my take for the Olympics is I cover the Olympics. I love Olympic sport and everything. My point is, if you can, and it's also a loss-making exercise, as most countries
a lot
have
of people
lost.
have.
Correct. So now, why don't you use that money to become a better Olympic nation, right? We're a country of 1.4 billion and happy with 5-6 medals each Olympics. You can't be. You have countries that are smaller than the size of some of our states landing up with 20-30 medals. I think our first aim should be, I'm not saying the best country, and it's not going to happen in the Olympic game, but at least be competitive, and it should in some way be in relation to our size and power globally in Olympics as well. So if you are winning 20-25 medals, I think you need to focus on that. So why do you have to be a viable venue when the importance of the country is there? That's something that I didn't understand. So for me, it felt like a double standard. First you say nothing can be, you and I can't even consume YouTube content from Pakistan, but now you're going to be playing cricket. And then Asia Cup was a tournament which is not even an ICC tournament, right? So if you had skipped it, how does that matter? It's not going to invite any sanctions. It's not going to isolate you. Just because you want to be seen by the rest of the world as a country that will be able to host a big event in the future, you're doing that. It doesn't work. But now if you've taken the stance, then and just to extend that, I was looking at some business numbers and export-import between India, Pakistan. It was somewhere between roughly around 55 million that India was exporting, $55 million that India was exporting to Pakistan. And last year has seen that, because there has been sanctions on export as well, that has seen it to be cut down to just 5 million. So a 90% cut. Now, that 90% cut has been borne by Indian citizens, people who you and I, whoever, and it's percolated down to everyone, whether you're a business owner, worker, creating that
Consumer
product,
as well,
whatever,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So now I'm saying, now that guy, whoever that might be, he's running a business. His business may have shut down. So he's sacrificed. He's not made any noise. He sacrificed that business because your policy said that, and you said no, country first, I have to follow that. So a lot of people have sacrificed, but then you're going to be playing cricket. I don't know, from now on then there should be a free for all. You and I should be free to decide what we need to do, and then in that case, if you watch an India-Pakistan game, I should not be allowed to point fingers at you and call you anti-national.
Of course.
Right? We cannot. If everyone's going to be looking at situation and deciding, then I could say that no, for me, country comes first. I won't watch anything to do with Pakistan. I will not buy anything to do with Pakistan. I will not make friends with anyone from Pakistan or whatever. I won't consume Pakistani content, blah, blah, blah. But cricket is my love. And India-Pakistan is the number one game, so I'll watch it.
Yeah.
So if I was to do that and make an exception, then I should not be questioned as well. So then allow everyone to decide what they want to do. But just to the larger point, I know it would have taken a lot of time, but to the larger point, when I was saying that
completely okay.
should you have India-Pakistan games or not,
yeah.
to which my thing is, and this was my belief before Operation Sindoor, and that you have not had India-Pakistan bilateral cricket for more than a
12
decade.
years, yeah.
Has anything happened in terms of Pakistan financing terror activities in India? Has that put a stop on them? No.
Yeah.
And my larger point is that will continue to happen whether you play cricket with them or not, because the people that are responsible for it, whether they are the fundamentalists, whether it's their army, whether it is their weak government, they don't care whether you play cricket with Pakistan or not. They don't care. I am again stating, I went to Pakistan. I don't think a regular Pakistani fosters any hate for any Indian. I experienced that personally. A regular Pakistani doesn't even understand geopolitics or what happens or whatever. He's not even in any way involved. Yes, are there fanatics there? I'm sure they are, right? As they would be in any. Are there, people who buy into what their army says, and I would call them a rogue army or the fundamentals that they have? Do they buy into it? Yes, they are. But by and large, the people won't be like that. But yes, they have to pay for the sins of people that are running the country, and I guess the country's already paid for it. If you look at the two countries now, the difference is chalk and cheese, and I think they are paying for it. So my thing is, so whether you play cricket or not, you're not dealing the core issue at hand. The core issue at hand, and I think it needs to be dealt with, that can only be dealt with either militarily or diplomatically, where you then, so not everything can be solved by war, but it can be solved diplomatically, whether it is through talks. And if talks cannot happen, then you learn how to isolate Pakistan. There are countries, and I think India is a powerful enough country to do that. So you have to find different ways to do it. You play cricket, you don't play cricket, you and I will keep talking about it, but it will not help us find the solution that we're looking for. And that solution is to, whether you make friends with them or not is not that, but you need peace and quiet on the borders is what is the solution that we're looking at. Because we can change everything, but you can't change your neighbor, right?
Yeah.
You can do anything that you want. You can't change it. So you have to find a solution for it. And I don't think playing cricket, not playing cricket will ever result in a solution.
Great. So
that was my larger thing. Yeah. But then, you'd be nervous to say something like that, because people would troll you saying that, how dare you say anything?
We are taught to believe otherwise as well, as in like once you head there, you know what's the ground.
Yeah, but again, I'm not saying that you need to be friends with them. If you think that it's a country that has not learnt its lesson, and you think as a country you cannot, and you tried to extend that hand of friendship and they came back to bite you, and you do not want to go down that road, which is fine. Absolutely fine. But then you need to find a solution how to sort this out.
Yeah.
Then you get the rest of the world. No, I mean, you go back to the South Africa example. There was a time where India was leading the charge of isolating South Africa because of apartheid, right? But the rest of the countries didn't buy into it. Australia was still playing cricket with them. England was playing cricket with them. West Indies went and played cricket with them.
Yeah.
But then you gathered momentum slowly and steadily. More countries joined you in that movement. And then it reached a state where everyone boycotted South Africa, to a point where you got what you wanted and they let go of that policy. So, I mean, you could do that with Pakistan.
Pakistan a tempting financial option as well, as in like if you isolate them from world cricket, will it hurt the ICC coffers?
No, but my point is, who are we to look out for ICC coffers? ICC needs to bother about ICC. I think what India needs to look out for is BCCI.
Yeah.
Now, let's say financially, and I don't buy the financial bogey that, India is playing for financial whatever.
In the Asia Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does India even gain?
Yeah.
If India pulls out of Asia Cup, India could have organized a tri-series that would have made probably the same amount of money for them as that, which you could have done independently as well. So I don't think that India is doing it, because a lot of people say money is the priority. So money can't be the priority. Firstly, government. Now, why did the government allow it? How is the government gaining financially? Even if you're gaining financially, that money goes to the BCCI. Government doesn't get any of it. It's a private firm, BCCI is, and they keep that money with themselves. That's one. Secondly, I don't think even BCCI is going to gain that much financially. They could have gained like the similar things by hosting another tri-series. So that's also not the thing. I think the reason they've done it is because they don't see, it would cause you embarrassment that supposing you went with the stance of not playing them now, then what happens during the ICC tournament? Then they'll say, oh, you're playing in ICC, you might as well have played in an ACC tournament. So government also had to come up with one policy that you follow. But then if this is the policy that the government follows, then you allow, I'm just going back to the business owners. You allow them as well to function in a limited capacity. What about the guys who made films and who are going to lose half their revenue? You allow them to do it as well.
Like one thing, it'll be interesting to see the viewership numbers this time. As in, like, there's been a...
What do you think? It's going to take a hit or it's going to go up?
But it might not better the T20 World Cup is a bold call I'm taking. It's not a guess, it's a bold call. Because I don't know, it might also exceed the T20 World Cup numbers.
Why do you think that?
Like you said,
the context.
The people might not want to be seen as watching the game, but then when you watch it on TV or when you log into your streaming platform, it gets registered.
It's like how when I go across covering cricket, nowadays it's fashionable to criticize and target the media, right? And I'm not talking about sports, but politically as well, right? You get targeted. And so everyone will say, no, TV is this, we don't watch it, but everyone watches, they know what program. It's like in a drawing room conversation. Now it's very cool to lampoon television media, saying, television, we don't watch TV news. But how do you know what they're watching? They're all watching those same mindless debates that happen, that fighting, everyone, because the viewership numbers tell you that. So, I mean, I kind of agree with you that no matter what people say, there will be a lot of them watching. Who knows? Because of this almost warlike situation that you had, maybe emotions are running high. So when that match happens, more and more people want to watch because they want India to beat Pakistan and vice versa. So maybe it takes the numbers high, but I don't know. What do you think?
No, so the basic thing is that the government has allowed the match to happen, right? So when the government has allowed the match to happen and people are covering in India, who stops me or Akshay? Or for example, you to watch the match from your own drawing room, and why will you not watch the match? Like sitting in your own room, you will definitely watch the TV. Okay, India and Pakistan playing. Let's just have a look at the score. What is happening? Oh, there's no Babar Azam. There's no Virat Kohli. What are the young guns doing? Let's just have a look at it. And as you said, when the context of war is on, that India and Pakistan might go on to war. Oh, let's see. They must beat Pakistan. We can't lose to Pakistan now at all. So I think the numbers will definitely not go down. If they don't go up, they will definitely not go down.
Even if I feel that people don't watch it, and I think this time genuinely there will be those people that will boycott the game. I have a feeling, whether it's on TV or on the ground, there will be that. But if India wins that game, let's say just take the first game and India win. India are the favorites, they win this. Don't tell me people won't be celebrating and that you're not going to be hearing firecrackers go. And don't tell me even if someone who tried his best not to watch that game will not go back and watch those highlights. He'll 100% go back and see, how is it that India won? Because that will, arouse your patriotism.
We've always associated patriotism with cricket, as in most of us, as in it's whether you call it a misconception, whether you say that it's a cricket team playing for a private entity and not representing your country, but not anymore. You're going to the Olympics, but when Saurabh Ganguly, I've grown up watching Saurabh Ganguly when he pulled off the shirt and did that, or when Sachin hit that 6 against Shoaib Akhtar. I felt patriotic, as in that's how when I was growing up I knew what it was to
why cricket? Every sport.
Yeah, I think every sport has this. I remember that 2014 World Cup final between Brazil and Germany. When Germany were battering Brazil, everybody was crying in the stands. The whole nation was united and they were crying. What has happened to our football? We were the world champions for so long. So associated to every sport. This is one way for a common man to show that yes, I'm an Indian, or I'm a Pakistani, or I'm a German, or I'm a British.
Yeah.
When England play the FIFA World Cup, even when they are not a title contenders, the World Cup will come home. That trends, and people are big fans. So patriotism and sports go together, I think.
And I no matter where, whether it's on TV or live at the Olympics or even at every time there's an Indian national anthem is played, I get goosebumps. Even when I go watch football in Ambedkar Stadium and India is playing, whatever, Syria or anyone, it's exactly the same feeling. And I guess why that happens is it tugs at your basic human emotion where you want to be better than the other and
a part of something bigger as well.
No, as in we are better than them. And so those days, when, I don't know, we weren't that evolved, 100 years ago, you could go to war and settle that, right? Now you're living in an age where you don't do it. Sport's the only way. And you say, we're superior than you as a race or as a country and those things. And
I still can't forget the feeling that we had in August last year. All of us were watching the Tokyo Olympics final, kind of expecting Neeraj to walk away with the gold. And the heartbreak that we felt that day, I still haven't recovered from it, by the way. Saurabh and I were just seeing, as in like first throw, I think Akshay didn't, as in he didn't complete the run-up or he took the run-up again. And then in the second, when even the commentator's voice, they just grow louder. Oh, the environment.
No, that's how it was in the stadium. I was there. And I kid you not, when he threw and when I was asked of one of the moments of the Olympic, it was that throw by Akshay. Because what happened was that when you see javelin in TV, it's a different thing. You don't really get the bigger picture, but of course when you're seeing it live, you can see from it leaving, and it's not different camera cuts that you see, right? Or a follow, you don't understand, and even when the camera is following, you don't understand the depth of it. You only understand once it's landing. But when you're seeing it live, you can see how far it's going, right? Now, even if you're a 70-meter thrower or you're a 90-plus thrower, your initial bit is quite the same. The initial trajectory of each javelin thrower is the same. So it takes about the same trajectory. And then the ones who hit 90 or are in the late 80s, their javelin just continues on that trajectory. Whereas some then, the ones that will fall short, there begins to dip at the end. So the initial trajectory is the same. And then some will dip and then some continue going. In Arshad's case, that's exactly what happened. So he throws it, it's similar. And then when you know that the dip has to start, it doesn't dip, it goes. And the whole stadium, you could hear the stadium go like, it's not stopping, where's it going? And then it goes and lands. So you knew he'd done something incredible. And just before that, I remember social media, and I must give, I've also discredited Pakistan for a lot of things in this podcast. I must give them one thing credit for, that you won't find better self-deprecating humor than Pakistani themselves. The amount of fun that they make of their own athletes, or they will, like, we're still far more touchy about our athletes. We're very protective.
Now we're becoming too much.
They'll just go after it. So I remember the best memes of that javelin competition before the competition were coming from Pakistan only, and they were making fun. So there was this one thing about, I think, Weber or someone, practicing with this new age technique, and he's doing this, and this one guy writing from Pakistan only. He's like, look at our guy. He's going there with best wishes and a dabba of ghee and milk. This is what we can give you. Now go, do what you.
But now I can say one thing.
And you did it.
Yeah, now I can say one thing. The rivalry is bigger in javelin than in cricket.
It is.
I think the Asian rivalry itself, there is a new rivalry, that's not another day. But
the only difference is that both those guys, and I interacted with them after the medal, before that. Both these guys, Neeraj and Arshad, in that sense, are such gentle giants. So while the rivalry is fun to watch, they don't add any masala to it. Because they're so respectful of each other. Whereas in cricket, the thing is that cricketers,
I think the market drives the way you behave also.
But generally how they behave, and then their social media post, and how a lot of has been written about it. And I know some of those social media posts by a few Pakistani cricketers were downright shameful. But some Indian cricketers were also quite jingoistic and gaga in praising their country, and I guess that happened. Some of them did cross the line as well, especially Pakistani cricketers. I completely agree. But these two guys are like, no, he's very good. No, he's good.
And they're inspiring a lot of other Asians also. Sri Lankans are coming up.
Yeah.
But what started as an Asia Cup podcast.
All three were from cricket playing countries.
And I
The
don't know
top
if
three
Neeraj-
medalists.
Yes.
So I'm saying all the ones who must be bowling at some point. Neeraj, Arshad and Anderson
Anderson
Peter.
Peters.
Yeah, maybe Shami can try it now. Still
Shami.
young, still young. Go and throw a couple.
Though it's
No, he's not-
considered a bit of a slur to tell a fast bowler to go to javelin, saying that, oh, you think I was throwing, that sort of a,
yes.
In
because
gully-
it was used
yeah.
for Murli
Yeah.
a few times, unfairly so, I might add. I was a huge Murli fan.
The moment,
was used for
it reminds me of my gully cricket days. The moment, in some gully cricket matches, they allow you to throw. But the moment you go to a match where only bowling is allowed, only round arm bowling is allowed, you try your best. But since you don't have that, practice of not bending the arm and bowling, they'll call you out in 2 balls. They'll be like, you're not needed.
Baby oh,
Baby over.
out. Yeah.
But what started as, a Asia Cup
Podcast.
curtain raiser has rightfully gone this way, I think. As in, if we had sat here and spoken about only, okay, who are we going to pick? What is Bangladesh's chances and all that? But that we'll do next week.
Yeah.
But I think with you here and with both of us chiming in, we spoke about things that we should speak about. When
Yeah.
you talk about this Asia Cup
Yes.
in particular, especially in the lead up to the controversies in the lead up to it. But before we go, just give me your quick thoughts on the squad and your quick thoughts on the squad. India squad especially, like Krishnamacharya Srikanth apparently told, okay, they can win Asia Cup, but they can't win T20 World Cup. But do you think this squad will go to the T20 World Cup? Is this going to be the 15-16 in the squad?
I don't see too many changes happen. A couple might still happen, but I think they picked this squad keeping in mind the T20 World Cup. The only way I see some big changes happening is if, like the last Asia Cup in the T20 format that happened in the UAE where India didn't make the final, then I think you'd be forced to make a few changes. If you don't, which I don't think India will, I think for India, not winning the Asia Cup will also be looked at as a disappointment. So final they should definitely make. They are the best team, even though in T20 the format is such that upsets can happen.
Yeah.
But I think they'll keep that squad. Overall, I think, if 3 of us also sat and made the squad, we pretty much would have picked the same team. I was just a bit surprised with a couple of names. I think Shreyas Iyer, I would have, found a way to get him. And the second name, which may surprise a lot of people, I was surprised you didn't go with a Washington Sundar. And the reason I'm saying that is you might need an off spinner. I know off spinners are going out of fashion in T20 cricket. I looked at some numbers and, with Ashwin going, it's pretty much the end of really a off spinner, at least in the Indian context. And I know that Washi was not even played as a spinner by Gujarat this IPL, pretty much played as a batter. But why I said that is because with Pakistan, they got a few left-handers. And Nabi has been bowling well for Afghanistan in this series. So with a few lefties, it wouldn't have really hurt them. And also because India would be caught between, playing both Varun Chakravarti, Kuldeep together. If they don't play, then there might be a bowler short. But then they need to fill a batter. So their combination just doesn't add up. Had you got a Washi, I think it would have just sorted a lot of things. So I'm a bit surprised that Washi and Shreyas didn't make it. But then I'm also nitpicking. Overall, if I look at this team, it's a gun team. And dare I say that they have, they are the current T20 champions. But imagine a team becoming champion. After that, you see a bit of a dip from each team, right? Once you reach the peak. India has actually pushed the boundaries even to another level after
now
that.
I think that will be the pressure to maintain that in the lead up to the T20 World Cup.
May not see. So I'll only tell fans one thing, that you've gotten used to the 250, 60, 70 that India was piling up in Hyderabad, and in South Africa, India was going past 250 quite comfortably in T20 cricket. Phenomenal numbers. But I'm just saying in Asia Cup, I would want Indian fans to reconfigure that because the conditions aren't going to be like that. So just change that. Don't expect those numbers. But I still feel this Indian team will be ahead of the curve. Whatever they do is going to be the benchmark. Others will be following. And while there'll be good competition from Sri Lanka, from Pakistan, Afghanistan, I still think India clear-cut favourite. I don't see any area that they haven't got covered. And one thing I'm really looking forward to, would I have picked the Shubman Gill in the team? Maybe not. But what I'm looking forward to is how Shubman Gill approaches this. I have a feeling that we look at Shubman Gill as a semi-aggressive batter, right?
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
He's got good IPL numbers, decent T20 numbers as well. But and even 150 strike rate, which he operates at, is phenomenal for most other teams. But I'm looking at that Indian batting lineup where he does seem a bit short on that. But I would love to see how he's going to play. I have a feeling that he will play in a very different role.
Yeah.
I think he will have to buy into the philosophy of this team, which is led by Surya Kumar Yadav, where everyone has been told that 50s, 60s, 70s, I don't need from you. I need a 20 ball 30 or a 15 ball 40 or to that level, and that does it. Each of us is going to do that, go out and entertain. And I think rather than Shubman continuing in the form that or the mold that he operates in, he will buy into this philosophy, and you might see a different Shubman. And if he can do that, then I think it doesn't matter whether it's Shubman opening or Yashasvi Jaiswal, who I also thought was unfortunate to have missed out, but it'll be the same thing. So
Saurabh, Shubman or Samson? Isn't like Shubman, yes, but will Samson be there in the 11 or?
See, when the squad was announced, I was very, very against the inclusion of Shubman in this squad.
Yeah.
And then the name in the vice captain. But when I was doing a story, as you suggested me, so I was doing a story and I was looking at the stats of how the Indian T20 openers have fared in the past 3 or 4 years since that 2022 T20 World Cup where we failed. So that states that Shubman Gill has been part of India's best opening partnerships in T20Is, and the opening partnership of Sanju Samson and Abhishek Sharma has the poorest average among the last 10 opening partners.
yeah, but then
But one of them have carried on.
Yeah,
but
they
then
was,
this is a wrong metric.
Yeah.
So because who cares about average?
Yeah. So that there is where I'm coming. But the strike, when you talk about the strike rate, when Shubman Gill has been part of an opening partnership, the strike rate has been something around 140, 130. But when these two have been there, it has always been on 180, 190, 200. So and the way we have seen cricket now, you can't have a 6 over 40 not with 0 wickets. You will better take it a 70 of 1 in 6 over. In the current setup, even if you're playing in Dubai, if you can get going, you can get going.
Yeah, as in when Nikhil was talking about semi-aggressive, I think there is no doubt that Shubman can't be as aggressive as Abhishek or as Samson. But the first 5 balls, can he just take the fear of failure out and go for it?
No. You now look at the IPL that happened, and this is the approach by GT. But you see, GT fell short. Okay, but now look at the teams that made the final. Even a Virat Kohli, in that sense, changed his approach, and they had a Phil Salt to do that damage. So you needed that approach. Look at a Punjab who made the final. Their 2 openers operating the same way. So I think this is what you have realized. So it's not that. See, we also see the strike rate at the end, and 150 does look good. But what happens? You don't utilize the power play that much.
Yes.
Now you reach 150 because you operate at 130 for most of the time, and towards the end you make it 150. But if you look at in the larger, picture for the team, then you say, no, I want 150 at the start, 150 in the middle,
and my 200 in the death.
Correct. So my guys will also operate at 200, which you will too, but you've wasted that 160, 150 or 180 strike rate I needed at the start by being at 120.
You can always make up for it as an overrated statement in T20.
Correct. So I think that will, and I have a feeling that once he's come into the team, and that's fair enough, you see him as a future star, and it's not that he can't play like that. He may have been told that you got to operate in a different gear. It doesn't matter. We are not looking at big runs for you. You have the strokes that you need to operate at 160, 170. You play that, you get out, not a problem. And I'll give you some insight. If you remember, we had Surya Kumar Yadav for our conclave very recently. And I did ask him this, that, how is it that you've gotten this team to buy into your philosophy? It's one thing that we kept saying about fear of failure should be out, bat like that. But you have to convince everyone to do that, right? How did you get them? And he said, listen, I only told them one thing. He said, I have told them, forget about everything else. You walk onto the field. There are 30,000 people who've come to watch. Go and entertain them. Your job is to entertain them. Forget about what will happen. And he said, if each guy goes with that mentality, that whatever deliveries I spend, I will entertain them. It's not about I get a big total. The total gets managed by itself. The philosophy gets managed by itself. And so everyone plays. And sure enough, this team, what it showed was that there were occasions, if you see in the last year, where they have been 30 for 3 or 4, and yet they've piled up more than 200 because they just did not move from that one thought that we have to keep attacking. And I'm liking that. So I guess Shubman might, I was also with Saurabh, I didn't really think that Shubman should have been part of that team. But now that you've got him, I think he'll change the way he'll play.
He has to change the way
I hope Ben Duckett hasn't seen this part. You saying that Surya Kumar told you that they wanted to entertain the crowd. He might claim credit for saying that baseball is the bedrock of India's T20 revolution. But
I must say, I really enjoyed Duckett's batting. Yeah, what a batter.
Yeah.
I think
He's
get
a
hefty
good
IPL
batter.
contract. Hefty IPL
Yeah,
contract.
but even the way he bats in Test match cricket.
Yeah.
I mean, you need openers like that. And Yashasvi is also one of those. And Duckett as
Reminded
well.
me a little bit of Sehwag.
The left-handed version. Yeah, you're right. And he's not all just attack. He's got a good technique, good defense. He has all the making of being a top-notch.
He took on
test
Jasprit
opener.
Bumrah.
Yeah.
So he has got all the attributes to be a successful opener.
Yeah.
And even in T20s and ODIs, he has been really good. Like people, I was listening to a lot of people when they were playing that county cricket. So they were talking about him, they were talking about Ben Duckett. And then when they saw their numbers in T20Is and ODIs, they are equally good. So it's not just he's hitting runs at good pace, he's hitting runs for long former also. So he's there. And for the squad, I wanted to make one point. I felt very hardened by the absence of Jaiswal. I love Jaiswal as a batter in T20 especially.
But
like, yes, he has been performing good for you in Test cricket, but that does not mean that you drop him to T20Is format.
Yeah, but you know what? They're talking about, Deep Das Gupta, while speaking to us, he said, there are 40 cricketers in Indian setup right now, in T20 setup, where you can pick one and argue for and against him. You can drop one and argue for and against him. 40 might be a too big a number, but at least 20 are there.
No, in fact, you're right. We did an exercise here, and I said that, look at this Indian team and the embarrassment of riches that we have.
Yeah.
We made a alternate 11.
Yeah.
And that alternate 11 was a gun 11. So you get a Yashasvi and Sai to open.
Siraj in the bowling attack, I think.
Yeah, them to open. Number 3 could be KL Rahul, right? Who had a phenomenal IPL.
Absolutely.
You could get Shreyas Iyer at 4, Rehan Parag at 5, Shashank at 6.
Nitish Reddy can play as a
Nitish Reddy
fast
as
bowler.
Fit again, Rishabh Pant can walk into that side as well.
Definitely.
Exactly. But because I got KL at 3, the numbers are very good at this IPL, better than Rishabh. So like he's there. And then you've got spinners. I could have gone with a Sai Kishore who had an outstanding IPL.
Bishnoi is
there. So Washi Sundar, in fact, he didn't make this team. And Prasidh Krishna, your highest wicket taker,
in the IPL,
gets there. So imagine that 11 versus this 11. I think they'll be far more competitive than...
Get another team in Asia Cup.
Yeah.
Have a series between these two teams.
See, they could have found a way. Like, we are boycotting Asia Cup. We're not sending our main team, sending B team. It would have killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah.
Could have done that. So I am that.
Yeah.
Very envy of the world at the moment
for
the talent that you have.
Of course. And hope we bring the results that is expected of.
Before who do you think is going to be playing? 28th final.
India, Afghanistan for me.
It's a bold call, but it is a good call because Afghanistan finished 4th in the T20 World Cup and India won the T20 World Cup. And those were spin-fending conditions. Here also, I think you will get spin-fending conditions.
No, the only thing is pitches might be, but I think this, and that's why if I pick my finalists, I'm going India, Pakistan. And I'll tell you why. It's condition specific. Afghanistan, so you're playing all matches at night. Right, and there will be dew that is set in at that time. I don't know how. And both innings. See, remember, Champions Trophy, it helped the spinners, but those are day games, right?
Yes.
I mean, half of it you played in the day. So India even played 4 spinners in a lot of games. But now, I think, if you remember now, last Asia Cup, where India did not make the final, both Sri Lanka, Pakistan went there, and you remember Sri Lanka on the dint of their seam bowlers.
Yeah.
Dasun Shanaka was good. Then the left armer. Madhu Shankar was
great.
so they did a lot of it. And ditto, I think, Afghanistan right now in the tri-series playing 4-4 spinners in a 11, which they'll do well. A lot of them are mystery spinners, so dew also they can control. But I think it'll be the fast bowling. And for Pakistan, Shanisha Afridi is showing some better form. They've got that Fahim Ashraf. They've got Hassan.
Haris Rauf is there.
Haris Rauf is there. Yeah. Though he's getting tonked for a few runs. But now see what they've done is they've now gone on the Indian model. They're trying to ape India in that sense. Getting multi-dimensional players. For example, Saim opens for them and bowls. Fahim Ashraf can also, get to runs and bowl. So they're getting into these multi-dimensional players. And they've dropped Babar and Rizwan. And to look
have some Indian problems also. 5 openers in the top 5. You kind of
have to. Correct.
Yeah.
But then they've been told that you keep it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Fakkar's not opening because they've got that Shahibzada
Yeah,
Farhan.
I think Sahibzada Farhan is opening with Saim Ayub.
Saim
They
Ayub.
also have Fakhar. They have Mohammad Haris with the wicket keeper.
Yes.
They also have, I think,
Again, he's been in good form.
Hassan Nawaz. He also
Hassan Nawaz is
plays
also an opener.
Yeah, he plays an opener in New Zealand
Number
series,
5.
scored 100.
And he's the one who's winning them games.
He's coming down and he's been finishing games for them.
Yeah.
So he is the X factor right now for them.
So that means
So
I'm happy that as professionals we are doing our job. Getting to know Pakistan.
No.
That is
No, the other thing is why one is the job. Secondly, I mean, I've been going through, what do you call those, anxiety episodes of having no live Indian cricket, right?
Let's not get there.
I've not
Let's
gotten
not-
used to such a big gap of
Oh, yes.
no Indian cricket. So I'm craving for cricket. So where do I get? There's a tri-series happening. So I end up watching that.
We
How
don't
else do
need
you do
our
it?
workload
Absolutely.
need not be managed. Actually, it's been
Because when
really
it's sit on-
frustrating. As in, like,
Yeah.
as in, like, now even the other sports, it has started now. As in, there was a lull there also. The World Championship badminton and all that. Now you have a series of events.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
yeah. But when we get back next week, we'll talk in depth about what is going to happen cricket wise in Asia Cup in UAE. Till then, as in, like, the viewers and listeners, you can send in your thoughts. We had Nikhil,
You
being
guys
bold.
are allowed to sledge in the comment
Of
section.
course.
Yeah.
They do actually. They questioned
Bring it
us, when I think we spoke about Shubman Gill and the selection thing.
Oh, yes.
They asked us at what level have you played cricket?
Yeah, so
And our Kingshuk Kusari, as in, like, he is a very, very ardent follower of these comments, and when it comes to replying, he doesn't wait for the next week's episode. He goes there and replies.
What does he say?
He says, I have been a fast bowler in gully cricket, so
Doesn't
I can
matter.
talk.
I'm saying even if you did not play gully cricket,
Yeah.
the best film reviewers have never made a film. They never directed
Yeah.
it, right? But I rely on them. I read about them, and they do give great insights in how a film is made. I don't think Ratan Tata knew how to make trucks, right? But Tata makes the most amount of trucks that are there in the world. So
Yeah, I also feel that when it comes to watching us journalists talk about something, you don't have to actually take us seriously. It's just an opinion. As in, we are giving you an opinion. Sometimes analysis, yes. But when we are giving opinions, you either take it or not. As in, most times we try to shy away from giving gyan, like I'm doing now. But no.
no, that's fine. See, again, as I tell you, you would never be able to make everyone happy.
Of course.
And no matter what you say, people... Again, we live in times where people will never change your opinion. I go back to drawing room conversation. You have a political debate and you are on this side of the fence and the other. No matter how much you say, he's never going to change your mind.
Yeah.
No matter how much he says, you're not going to change. That doesn't matter.
I also think
so listen
that
to each other.
There's a little bit of lack of empathy on social media. As sometimes I wonder, okay, if I were in that position, I wouldn't sit behind a keyboard or a monitor and type a comment like that. But because
Times have changed.
when people meet you in person, they are not this.
100%.
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I completely agree. As I said, if you go through some of the mentions in my social media, you will see a lot of hate. And even in the comment section of the videos that we do, you do see a lot of hate. But believe you me, every time I've gone out, and mostly I end up meeting people who know us in cricket matches, right, on the ground. So many times. I have not met a single person who's been nasty or has even been critical. They'll come. They even if they disagree with something, they'll talk very politely. Say, "Oh, I heard that, but I don't." And then we end up having a discussion in a cricket game. But majority of them, 80-90%, are very complimentary of the work that you do and how you've been doing and how they've been following you for so long. So I guess it's only on social media where you are faceless and you want to vent your anger and frustration. You write whatever you want to get noticed or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're not that version when you meet those people in person. That's true.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop you guys from being nasty. If you had fought with your partners, you can just vent it out on us as well. We'll take it. But on a serious note,
which Akshay may have fought because his delivery is not coming on time.
But on a serious note, we've, as in Nikhil and Saurabh have, all of us have made some points that we think is right or wrong. You can respond to them. You can share your thoughts on 8588966996. If you're listening to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, please do rate us. And like we always say, and like we just said, if you're watching us on YouTube, please leave your comment. We'll be more than happy to learn your feedback. Thank you. Have a great week. We'll come back with a lot of Asia Cup specials. Thank you.